Knock knock, who's there? Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves who? Keanu Reeves in another bad movie. Ugh. Hey everyone, welcome to another review, and here's my review for the movie Knock Knock. Yes, this movie stars Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves! Whoa! And it's directed by the gore fest himself, Eli Roth. Eli Roth is the guy who gave us, like, Hostel and this year's Green Inferno. You know, very gory movies, Cabin Fever. He's into the gory shit, and I thought I was in for a gory movie, and when I saw this movie, I thought it'd be a gore fest too. It actually isn't. Let's dive into the story. The story of Knock Knock is about a loving and devoted husband, and basically his family is going on vacation to a beach, and he's left alone for the weekend, alone in his house. And then at night, these two girls show up to his house. Two very attractive teenage girls show up. They need his help. He lets them in, and basically one thing leads to another, and he has sexual intercourse with these two girls. But what he does, he realizes these two girls are crazy. They basically will not leave his house. They become obsessed with him, and basically they tie him up, and basically torture him throughout the whole weekend. He basically want to out him to his wife and family, and yeah, all that shit. You know, it's basically like a typical, like, Psycho story, Fatal Attraction kind of thing, but with two girls and Keanu Reeves tied to a chair most of the movie. And yeah, that's what this movie's about, Knock Knock. And honestly, when I saw the previews for this movie, it didn't look good, and now when I saw this movie, it isn't good. This movie is really stupid. Like, this movie is really bad. And this is an Eli Roth movie, so of course it's bad. I'm not a big fan of Eli Roth. I don't think he's a filmmaker. I don't like any of his movies. Well, Cabin Fever is okay. That movie is okay. But I don't like any of the Hostel movies. I saw this year's Green Inferno, which I did not review because I didn't have much to say about that movie, but that movie was stupid too. I'm not a big Eli Roth fan, and this movie, honestly, this movie is one of his dumbest movies, and that is really saying something because he's got a lot of dumb movies, but this is one of his dumbest movies. This movie was absolutely ridiculous. Just awful. The flaws and plot holes in this movie are just numerous. There's just so many of them. I can just pick this movie apart, how stupid and flawed this movie is. And Keanu Reeves, I like Keanu Reeves. I enjoy him. His acting is pretty bad most of the time, but I enjoy him. I think he's fun. I love The Matrix. I love John Wick. Last year's John Wick was awesome. I love Point Break. I love Keanu Reeves. He was god-awful in this movie, though. He was so terrible. And they try to make him likable in the beginning, but I could tell he's an unlikable character. And throughout the whole movie, he's an unlikable character. And I could not stand his character in the movie. And his acting was so bad. And at times, he went really over the top, and seeing Keanu Reeves go over the top, seeing Keanu Reeves go Nicolas Cage is just beyond awkward. And yes, the two lead actresses, the crazy bitches, I guess you can call them, they're awful in this movie too. They're very silly and over the top, and oh my god, I didn't buy anything in this movie. Like, oh my god, it felt like watching a crazy cartoon. It felt like a crazy cartoon, a rated R cartoon. Like, it was just so silly, and I just could not get into this movie at all. Some people might get into it, you know, for its sex appeal. You know, there's very attractive women, you know, there's sex scenes. Who gives a shit? This movie is just so bad. It's not like it's so bad it's funny and entertaining. No, there's nothing remotely funny about this movie. There's nothing remotely scary about this movie. There's nothing thrilling about this movie. There's no good twists or turns. And the ending to this movie is really stupid. I'm going to go into spoilers. Just like I did in my review of the movie Cop Car, I'm going to go into spoilers with the ending, because this is another movie ending that just annoyed me. This entire movie annoyed me. Like, I don't get it. I don't know why this movie was made. I get it. Eli Roth, he makes bad movies, but this movie wasn't even violent. Like, at least this movie was just so over-the-top gory, like the movie You're Next. I could maybe somewhat enjoy it, but it wasn't. It's just a bunch of crazy girls torturing this unlikable guy. That's it. Just making a guy's life living hell. That is the movie. That is the whole movie. And if that piques your interest, then go ahead and watch this movie. But this movie did not pique my interest at all throughout the whole film. Keanu Reeves was beyond bad. The other actresses were really silly and over the top, and I couldn't buy them. Yes, they're attractive, but that doesn't mean shit. They were bad actresses. And Eli Roth just directed this movie horribly. It was a very very badly written film, and nothing about this movie worked, and I absolutely hated this movie. This is not like the worst movie of the year, but it's a pretty shitty movie, and I cannot recommend this movie. If you're a horror movie fan, you will not like it because it's not scary. If you're a Keanu Reeves fan, you will not like it because it's Keanu Reeves getting his ass kicked throughout the movie, so he's not even kicking ass, and his acting is just bad. So yeah, Keanu Reeves fans, stay away. Horror movie fans, really stay away. And everyone else, stay away. It's terrible. So yeah, scale 1 to 10, I'll give the movie Knock Knock a 2.6 out of 10. Yeah, this movie was bad, so skip it. Skip it. Okay, this is the spoiler section of the video. Like, I'm going to spoil the ending to this movie, because actually I'm going to spoil a lot of things about this movie, so if you don't want to know spoilers, turn this video off. You saw my opinion, I didn't like it. But honestly, who gives a shit? This movie's terrible, so who cares about spoilers? Okay, anyways, the ending to this movie is these girls, they tie Keanu Reeves up, they do this, funny little game show thing. Oh, you're a predator, you're a pedophile. Because basically, technically, I guess these girls are underage. Yes, they're 15 years old, so basically, he can go to prison for statutory rape. But then you find out the ending, they're in their 20s, they're just screwing with him. And that actually is the twist of this movie. They were screwing with him, they're not obsessed with him, they don't want to kill him, they just kind of want to mess with his life. That's the twist. That's literally the twist of this movie. They bury him and his head's like sticking out of the friggin' ground in the backyard. They bury him, they're about to like bash his skull in, but then they're like, gotcha! I'm like, what? Gotcha? They're like, this is an experiment. They basically say they do this with every married guy. They go to a bunch of houses with married guys, and they try to have sex with them. And when they do have sex with them, they ruin their lives because they're not faithful to their family. That's all they are. They saying, oh, we're not crazy, we're not animals. We're just doing this to prove that all guys can't stay married. That's the twist of this movie. And basically, they just leave him there, they post a sex video on Facebook, they take his dog, and then the movie ends. That is absolutely stupid. That is really fucking stupid. That is flawed, too. They said they're not monsters and they're not crazy, but in the middle of the movie, one of Keanu Reeves' friends comes over and he basically says, what's going on? And basically, they kill him. Well, he does trip and fall and he bashes his head. But they don't get scared. They start laughing like, ooh, he's dead. And they wrap him up and then they throw him in a car. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought you guys just ruined people's lives. You're not, like, murderers. What the fuck are you doing? You're wrapping his body up and they're, like, blaming it on Keanu Reeves? Like, wait, what? I thought you guys weren't monsters. You guys just ruined married guys' lives, which is sort of monsters, but you're saying you're not crazy. But that clearly is crazy, and throughout the whole movie, they act like fucking nut jobs, and, like, I don't get it. And, like, another thing I don't get, like, they straight up come on to Keanu Reeves. They're like, oh, we're proving that married men aren't faithful. They literally strip naked, and they just, like, almost, like, molest him, that he just has intercourse with them. They almost, like, rape him, in a way, so, like, basically, they forced him to have intercourse. Then again, he could have pushed them off, so, but anyway, just makes no sense. They're trying to come off as, like, vigilantes, these girls, but they're just nut jobs. They keep calling themselves, they're not crazy. They are crazy, they're fucking nuts, and honestly, this movie, I didn't like the movie's ending because it just made no sense. And honestly, this is an Eli Roth movie. Keanu Reeves came off as such a unlikable idiot. At least if, in the end, like, maybe if he got loose and maybe he chased them down and fucking killed these girls, that would have been a better ending. Like, honestly, the movie could have went different directions. And honestly, there's two ways it could have went. One way is a very obvious way, just make the two girls crazy, and just make Keanu Reeves kill them, like, in very gory ways, and then, yeah, there you go, you got your Eli Roth movie. I wouldn't have hated it as much, because that is an Eli Roth movie. But this is just a very stupid and flawed Eli Roth movie with no gore, so it's just terrible. A second direction they could have went is, they could have went this way, they sleep with Keanu Reeves, and basically they just leave, and maybe they post a video of them having sex on the internet, and basically exposing him for what he is. And the whole movie is about Keanu Reeves trying to find these girls, and, get even with them. Maybe that's a movie, like, that could be a little more interesting, but no, they just made it a typical stalker, crazy movie about two girls obsessing over a guy, but they're really not obsessed over him, they're just trying to ruin his life. Either way, that is really stupid, and I really didn't like the direction this movie went. So yeah, that's what happened in the movie Knock Knock, and honestly, this movie was absolutely terrible. Terrible. I cannot possibly recommend this movie. It is just awful. It's not the worst movie of the year, but it's still really, really fucking bad, and I can't recommend it. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, what is the worst Eli Roth movie? What do you think is the worst movie Eli Roth has directed? This is actually the worst for me, but yeah, the Hostel movies are pretty up there too. But what is the worst Eli Roth movie? Comment below, let me know. And as always, like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.